You got no cause to run yourself down. Not from what Johnny says.
Oh, Johnny.
When I heard he'd been sent to Plainfield, I thought I'd die. But now
Now you ain't so worried, are you?
The way he says sir and excuse me, I bet he got all those fine manners from you.
Who, me? I ain't no Emily Post, ma'am.
But you're the kind of a man a boy could look up to. You're a natural father.
Me? I'm a bachelor, ma'am.
I never was able to even things up with Fields. But I did take some of the desire out of the first guy who did put his dick in my ass. That was about the only thing I ever got away with at Plainfield. One night, after the lights were out and everyone was asleep, I took one of the iron handles used for cranking the windows open. The crank was about 12 inches long and weighed 2 or 3 pounds. It wasn't as large or as heavy as I would have liked, but it did the job. I crept down to where Mr. Stiff Dick was sleeping, eased his blanket up over his head, and clubbed him several times as hard as I could. I left him there unconscious. And on the way back to my bed, I slipped the crank under the covers of one of the other guys who had been in on the rape. The beaten inmate might have died, but he was lucky. Security came through the cottage for a late-night count a few minutes later. In routinely lifting the blanket to make sure there was someone under the covers, the security man saw the blood and realized the guy was unconscious. He was taken to the hospital and treated for a severe concussion. Shaking down the cottage for the weapon, the guards found it under the other guy's bed. All of us were questioned. No one was charged with the assault, although the other rapist was the prime suspect. When his partner returned from the hospital, the two of them didn't have much to do with each other. It was whispered that I had done the clubbing, and no matter how small I was, no one else at Plainfield tried to put his dick in my ass again.
Years ago in prison, man, prison was only to give a man a chance to start all over. It was Christian justice, to give a man a chance to be reborn. And the Salvation Army and all them good people would always give us Christmas packages and give us a chance to get back and give us a chance to help come back to society and do right. But they've lost sight of right. They don't even come and they don't even help nobody. They just lock everybody up and wait for them to come out and burn them up again, man. And they're creating this fire that's going all over the world. They're burning themselves up because they won't do what Jesus told them to do. You know, simple. You know, if you want to survive, just get in line. If you don't want to survive, then you got anarchy rolling. Now, which you want to roll with? Do you want to roll with total destruction, or you want to get some order going, you know? So with me, it don't really matter, because I got my own little place in my mind beyond all those things that you guys are doing. You know, I can play on any level that you're dealing. Any level you're dealing, I got to dance in a game for it, you know, because I've been through all that insanity. If you want to give me my rights, then you get your authority back in your judge. If you don't want to give me my rights, then there ain't going to be no rights. And if you don't want any rights, that's okay too, because I never had any rights anyway. You know, I was just walking with what you say, you know. Like, I didn't need what you said. I always said what I said, and I never really told anybody what that was. I always kept that to myself, because I'm a hillbilly. I live up in the mountains. I make moonshine. I got a long gun, and I shoot a long ways, and I'm God in the holler. I let the woman go to church, gives her something to do, you know, but I know who God is. You know, and I know who Jesus is, and I know who the devil is, and I don't really need anything on the flatland, because the mountain holds a life. But when the mountains are dying, then I got to come down from the mountains, and I got to go into the flatland, and I got to put the balance in the flatland to keep the motherfuckers from strip mining and taking down the goddamn trees to where there's nothing left of it, you know. So that's where I've been for the last 40 years, where my uncle sent me. My Uncle Jess told me, don't go to them schools, boy, keep your own mind. He said, the mountains here are dying. You got to go down there and get it. I'm just one little kid. He said, well, it's just one little world. Get on about it. Do it.